Hi, I'm Cheryl from Would Be Crafty, and today we're going to talk about surface preparation. One of the main surfaces that people are painting on today are canvas boards. Canvas comes already primed, so it has a coat of gesso on it, but when you feel it, you'll notice that it's quite rough. So what you want to do is get your sandpaper and give it a good sand. So you want to sand all over just to make it feel a little bit smooth, but it's still not smooth enough for you to paint on. So what you're going to need to do is add more coats of gesso, which is a primer. Gesso comes in two different colours. You've got white for light backgrounds, black for dark backgrounds. So we're going to use white today. So take the lid off. As you can see, I've already used this gesso, and what I do is I keep a piece of Glad wrap or plastic wrap between the lid and the container, so that I don't have the problem of the lid sticking to the container. So remove that. With your brush, wet your brush, blot your brush on your paper towel to remove the excess water. Now if your gesso is fresh, just dip straight into the jar and paint onto your surface. Now when you're painting onto your surface, paint in all different directions, because canvas is a fabric, and what we want to do is fill in the holes in the weave of the canvas. If your gesso is a little bit old, you might find it's a little bit thick, so what you can do is pick some up, put some on a flattened milk container, add a little bit of water, and in that way you can thin it to make it more pliable. Paint that on. Now once you've finished an area, come back and smooth it right out, because we don't want any ridges. You want to keep it nice and smooth. So that's how you do surface preparation for canvas. Let that dry, or you can use a hairdryer on it to accelerate the drying. Sand it again. Feel it again. If it's still not smooth enough, repeat the process. I generally do minimum of 4 coats, so the smoother it is, the easier it is to paint on. So that's your preparation with gesso. Another surface that most people like to work on is MDF. MDF has not been prepared in any way, so what we need to do is use our sealant and mix it with our colour. That way we do our base coating and our sealing all at the one time. So we're going to use the base of a milk container. Into that we're going to apply our colour, and to that we're going to add some all-purpose sealer. Now you add just a little bit less than the amount of paint that you've put in. Get your brush, using the end of your handle, just mix the two together. The medium dries clear, so you won't see it. Clean that and start preparing your surface. So again, brush it out nice and thin, no ridges, in different directions. And then with your brush, smooth it out, same as what you did with the gessoing. When you're base coating, start with your brush in the middle of the board. Don't start near an edge, because then you'll get runs. You don't want runs. So if you use the bulk of your paint up during the middle of the board, you're less likely to have that problem, and smooth that out. When this is dry, you sand it, and then you do a second coat. But for your second coat, just use the paint. You don't need the sealer in for the second coat. So that's how you do surface preparation for MDF board. Some other surfaces that we can work on are metal. So this is an old silver teapot that's been decorated. So to do the surface preparation on this, I got an old piece of sandpaper and rubbed over all the surfaces to scuff the surface. Wipe it clean, and then with your sealer, your all-purpose sealer, apply 2 coats, letting them dry in between, and then if you can, leave it 2 weeks before you paint it. So that's your preparation for metal. Another surface that we work on is concrete. Concrete is non-porous, so there's no surface preparation needed. You can just paint on it straight away, but just make sure that you do varnish it well, because if you're going to put them out in the garden, you want to make sure that the paint doesn't come off. So that's just covered a few different surfaces, and hopefully you learnt something from that, and happy painting.